What they really did is
Carrie,
everybody
look
thinks
how cute
it's
it is.
She's a sweet girl.
What's her name?
Voodoo.
Voodoo.
And then just do whatever.
Right, because the
That's no problem.
Okay, try that's how it's spelled.
Okay.
Is it a good spot, Gary?
Yeah, that's a great spot.
Should I move back this way so I have a little more wiggle room?
Yeah, perfect.
So
I
the
can
girls
see
were very disappointed that they couldn't come play with your dog.
Aww.
Well, they can do that next time. All right. Everybody set? We good? Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Katie. Come over here and sit next to Ray.
Boys on one side, girls on the other side. Perfect.
Don't touch the cat this time, Linda.
I am not.
Caddy, we're not gonna, don't get the pop-up cat earrings ready.
Yeah, that's the last thing she needs is caffeine.
Okay, we ready?
We are ready. Yes.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon. I'm really excited to do this today. I actually kind of meditated like for 10 minutes. Because this is really a special group and special group that like I shared with Gary and a couple of people that this is really the culmination of my 30 years of work, meeting and really having a beautiful group of beyond entrepreneurs, beautiful human beings coming together and to do this work. So the topic today, what I was thinking about, what came to me was potentiality and practicality, and so how we bridge that gap, and so this business, when it's oftentimes you heard it that this business, when it's done right, it's beautiful. At the same time, it is very misunderstood industry in this space. So I know because I lived through it for 31 years. And so I'm excited and I want to share that with you. Now, I know we have new people that I just met this trip. Now, are you all familiar with the power of three, the numbers of power of three? Yes. So you don't need me to go over that, right? Or are you familiar with the power of three?
We've had talks on it. I'm not saying I'm good at it.
Okay, no. Would you like me to cover a little bit or?
Just a little bit.
Let me catch you at the hint. Okay, so that's where the potential, so the potential of what this business can be, it's financially, yes, it's huge. It can be huge, like it has done for me. Those of you that don't know my background, I was 31 years ago, I was a corporate executive and I got laid off and I got introduced to this industry. So I remember in the earlier days, my sponsor and the people in this space would sell me, like my story. And I'm like, why? I have no success in this space. Why would they sell my story? And the fact was back then, those days were very rare that people got into this space with a college education. There was a corporate executive. So they used that story to kind of bring credibility, if you would, to the space I was in. And so I couldn't understand it. And I thought, well, this is easy. Everybody should see this, should see how great this is. But I tell you, it's been an incredible journey of learning, growing, and becoming who I am here today. And so possibilities are endless in this space, financially. I went from broke, beyond a joke, to mass, quite an abundance in my life. Financially, but more beyond money-wise is the person I grew to become today. And so that's what this business can be for us. So what I'd like to do is touch real briefly on the power of three. Not the little money that you make from it, but really what it could happen to your business. So I'm going to run it through real quickly because I know most people have gone, I have gone through with this group before. But with the company, we're thinking like, how do we go about to have a program that will reward people and that will help drive the right behavior in building the business. And that is a power of three. So let's just say that when you come in a business, okay, if you were to sponsor 3 people, now it might not happen. To some people, first day they did that. To some, culturally, whatever, especially North America, it's a little challenging sometimes at times. Because most people kind of got stuck in the thinking mind, and I'm going to talk about that. So, but regardless, when you work as sponsor 3 people, okay, and ideally, what makes this business thrive is something called duplication. And so, if you sponsor 3, now, so the company give a little reward when you've done that. So it's not the little money that you get when you sponsor 3, but more importantly is teaching and driving that behavior to drive it deep. So if you were to drive it deep, and I'm sure Gary has shared with you guys, 729, 2187. Okay, so I got all that memorized. So when you drive it, like you have 3 people, you teach a 3 to sponsor 3, the core 3, and core 3 and core 3. Now, can you sponsor more than 3? Absolutely. But this is the premise, the foundation, you know. And when you build this whole thing, if you look at what this whole thing is about, it's about pattern. It's like life, right? Like if you got one pattern that works, duplicate that. Yeah. And that is what it's about. But this is the potentiality, right? So I think we worked out this number. And on this team cycle commission, I think it was like $9,000. If you build this in a perfect situation, perfect scenario, the passive residual income, maybe I'll break it down for you. Okay, so real quickly, because I know Jacqueline's new here. So real quickly, like 3,927. So this is the, okay, so what do? We build a distribution channel for people to consume the product, to purchase a product. So when you have a lot of people think, oh, I'm gonna go sell the product. You could, but that's on your own effort. But if you were to imagine, let's say that you have a 7-Eleven. Now, if you're gonna open let's say you have a 7-Eleven here, and you're gonna open a 7-Eleven in VOC, and you're gonna open a 7-Eleven in Cottonwood. When you open a 7-Eleven, it costs you money to invest or open, right? Well, the reason you wanna expand and have other 7-Elevens so that you can override the sales and the revenue that generate from different locations, right? Well, what if you have a business, you can open up different locations without you having to invest that money? And how do we do that? It's by sharing this with other people. And when those people have a little online store, if you would, whenever they have a customer or they themselves buy product, you get an override. That is what we do, building a distribution channel. Except you don't have to invest money, but you have to invest time and efforts in sharing this, okay? So this is a major misunderstanding in this space. A lot of people coming in, they start selling product to their friends. You could do that. That's one of the ways to make money, but it's not to build wealth. Okay, now, so remember we have the cycle, right? 300 points on one side and 600 points on the other side, you get a cycle, okay? So how does that apply to here? So this is the total of 900 points, right? The point system. I'm not gonna go into it, Gary, I'll probably explain to you guys. These are point system that's from consumers, people that are building the business, people who are buying the packages from your entire team. So these point systems for a total of 900. So if you will look at number-wise, this is what we call 1/3, 2/3, because 300 is 1/3 of 900. 600 is 2/3 of that. So we have a compensation plan that's called 1/3, 2/3. So if you were to add all this number up, now, in our team commission, we pay out not 7 level, infinitely deep, but I had to stop at 7 just for the illustration purposes. So if you were to break this up, it's over 3,000 people in your organization, okay? Now, if you were to break this down to 1/3, 2/3, that means you will have 1,000 people on one side, and you will have 2,000 people on the other side in your team. I wanna make sure, are you still following me?
Yeah.
Jacqueline? Okay, so 1,000 people, 2,000 people. Let's just say, I want you to imagine this from a business standpoint. Let's say that it took you 3 years to do this. 3 years later, let's just say that this won't happen in our space, but let's just say, I want you to understand timing from a business standpoint. If let's say 3 years later, the company say, you know what? All the distributors, all the brand ambassadors that came in, that's it. We don't allow any more people to become brand ambassadors. So all of us will get to continue to get customers and continue to override, but no more opportunity for people in the future. If we were to do that, okay? So that means nobody is expanding their businesses. So you have 3,000 people that are consuming the product. So let's just say that, like the Vitalite, for example, or the Eternal. Let's say the Eternals, how many CVs are Eternal? 60. So let's say you have these 3,000 people. If all they do is consume 1 box of Eternal, forget about the skincare, forget about that stuff, just 60 CV. That means you have 60,000 sales volume on one side, and you have 120,000 volume on the other side, right? So that divided by 300 per cycle, that divided by 600 per cycle, that means you have 200 cycles per month times $45, that's $9,000 a month in passive residual income. Now, it would take time to drive this, but this is the potentiality I talked about. This is a small potential because there's a lot more to it, but I want to keep it real, okay? So imagine, what if they like me, my whole family, just me alone, I take 3 boxes of Eternal a month. Then I have to add the Vitalite, my Visage, I have add all that stuff. It's not 60 CV. So you do your own math. But I want to keep it very simple, and I stopped at level 7. If you carry it further, it's astronomical. So this is the potential of passive residual income. Why do we want to drive and work this? Because we see the big picture. So this is the vision. To build this business, you got to have a dream, a vision that you need to hold tight on, what you're looking to build. Because if you have watched Lance training, when your dream is big enough, that's going to help you overcome the challenges that you will go through in this journey. And that's a practical side that I'm going to be talking about. Okay? So this is the potential side. Clear on this side? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just really allergic to cats.
Okay, all right. So,
Sorry.
okay, so that's fine. So this is the,
Comes out.
okay, so the potentiality is there. So let's talk about how do we go about building this. And that is where the practical side comes in. And I want to share this with you so that you, when you build a business, when you have a clear understanding of what you're getting yourself into, you go, okay, I'm prepped. This is about preparing you to be an entrepreneur in this space. I know many of you guys are already entrepreneur, but to be in this space is different. So it's different. It's so different because it disrupts people's normal thinking or normal understanding. So talk about the practical side. There's 3 phases. First, understand something. In this business, like anything else, it's like going to school, going back to school. The first, phase 1, so 3 phases in your business, okay? First phase is called learning. There's learning curve here, and everybody's on their own journey. People go, why can't you tell me how long it takes to learn? Well, I don't know, because it depends on your growth, your upbringing, your trauma, drama, your triggers, you know, there's so many things, and your friendship, people that are around you. And so we have to really give ourselves a chance. You know what? I'm on my journey, okay? So the learning curve, give yourself some time. And so the learning curve is first when you come in, you're gonna learn about the back engine, how, like the business side, right? And then you're gonna learn the process on how to build this business, which I'm gonna talk about. So there's a big learning curve. It's interesting when people pay like, they say you buy the biggest package, $2,800 package. They bought and they go, well, a month later they don't make the big money, they go, I'm quitting. It's like, wait a minute, let's say if I invest $500,000 opening a restaurant or opening a massage place, if I have no customer, or people poo-poo at my place, am I gonna close shop? No, because your investment's too huge. But here the investment is so small, not even investment, because you get all that in product yourself. It's so much easier to call it quits because they don't have the big picture. So what I'm trying to do today is really like pour out I'm trying to do in 1 hour, my 31 years of journey. And it's so that we can have a compact course in this. And so everywhere I go when I travel around the world, I try to give the most impact in the shortest amount of time because there's so many places I'm hitting. So now learning. So understand the learning phase. Give yourself a chance to learn because that process, that learning process, the learning part is to satisfy your thinking mind. Okay? So the second part, the second phase to this is called the doing phase. Okay? When you are doing it, and I'm going to talk about what do we do. When you're actually doing the work, this is when growth happens. Okay? Real growth. I mean, if this business would challenge you in all ways, of who you think you are, your influence are around the people. People, especially the people very successful, they're like, oh, I got all these friends. Oh, of course they would do it. Oh, absolutely. You know, so sometimes they would surprise you. But it's, know that, hey, I'm this part of the learning. Okay, so when you are doing it, what you are doing is that you are solidifying your learning. So because in doing, you are gaining experiences. In doing, it also triggers emotions. Some positive, some not so positive. Okay, so and a lot of times because some are not very positive because people's reaction or their responses to what they think you are doing, then most people retract and they call it quits. But when you understand, I'm on my learning curve. Okay, so by doing, you're solidifying your learning. Most people learn, they go, oh, okay, that's great, but they don't do. When you learn and you don't do, you have no results. Some people are literally a walking encyclopedia. They can tell you from A to Z, but they just don't do. So it's important that you do, because by doing, you are creating experiences. And those experiences will help you. And the experience, some are positive, some are really challenging. And those challenges will help you grow as a human being, as an individual. At least they help me as an entrepreneur and as a human being, right? So the experiences, because it will trigger emotions, it will trigger all that stuff. That's when you are growing and you're expanding, okay? So this is where growth happens. When you're doing it, growth happens and progress happens. So the last phase of this, I want to give you a big overview of all that is. And number 3, the last phase is your being. When you are able to repeat, like as you're doing, there's some successes, there's some challenges, but when it becomes part of you, part of your lifestyle, you no longer are triggered or react to these factors out there, then it becomes your lifestyle. Like everywhere I go, I don't think I'm going to get somebody to do something. I think about, if I talk to people and I feel like, you know what, there's something that might be able to help you. So because it's in me, it became me. So when that's become your lifestyle. It becomes a part of your body. It's like, hey, I truly have something that can help make an impact. So when it's become a lifestyle, then you're able to repeat your successful experiences. You're able to repeat the things, and you're able to teach others when you are being it. And I remember in the beginning of my journey, I asked my sponsor. I sponsored 7 people, all 7 quit. They canceled. They returned. Back in the days, I changed my mind. I think 6 or 7 people returned and quit. And I asked my sponsor, I said, why me? The other people were seemingly having great successes, and me, all the people canceled. People that went to UCLA, UC Irvine with me, these like educated ones, they all cancel. And I'm like, why? Why me? And he told me this is 31 years ago. He goes, Kim, you're being called for this journey. I'm like, excuse me? and he goes, if you have not gone through this, how would you have the compassion? You were chosen to do this. I'm like, you're a salesperson. And because he's trying to sell me on this, right? But now looking back, he was right. He said, you are chosen to do this because if you don't experience those pitfalls, those challenges, how would you ever have the compassion to teach others? Now looking back, he was spot on, okay? Even though I call him a salesman at that time, okay? But so now coming back to this. So when you be who you are, like if you live your truth, doesn't matter what people say about you, they can say whatever. It doesn't bother me because I know who I am. And so so this is the 3 phases. There's this curve, growing curve, learning curve to walk these. One cannot learn and then become being. You have to learn, then you have to do. Because when you're doing, in the beauty in the doing, you grow. Okay, so what do we do? What are some of the things? Before I talk about what we do, I'm going to share with you a few graphs. I think through graphs, people will have a better understanding of what is that we do. Okay, so first, growth, we all know this. This is Sedona. When we can talk about things all day long like this, okay? So most people live in what's called the comfort zone. Comfort zones are things that we know, that we're familiar with. A job, we trade so many hours, we get a weekly pay, So those are what people are familiar with, what society had conditioned us to believe of what was meant for us. So regardless, that comfort zone does not necessarily mean a comfortable lifestyle, but it was just what they're comfortable with, right? Well, guess where growth happens? Guess where money is and abundance is? Money and growth happens, it's outside of a comfort zone. So if you want to change where you are, you got to be willing to stretch. willing to embrace challenges, willing to embrace lessons in life. So when you understand this picture, you go, okay, whenever I am encountering challenge, people are challenging my belief, people are challenging my truth, whatever that might be, you say, I'm growing as a human being. And so when you're working this business, it's uncomfortable. When you pick up the phone and talk to people, I'm an introvert. When I talk to people, sometimes I get uncomfortable, but I say, you know what, I'm growing. I'm going for it because I want to grow as a human being. So when you're reaching out, when you're brave enough and authentic enough to reach out, get out of your comfort zone, that's when you're growing. And that's where the money is. That's where abundance is. And so I often tell this joke. I said 31 years ago, if you ask me to hold a marker and speak to people, like small group, big groups, my knees be shaking, all my Chinese accent will come out. But look at the growth as a person. I mean, when I first came to America, 14 years old, I didn't speak English at all, you know? And so anyway, so this picture, comfort zone, money, growth is outside of a comfort zone. So when we understand this first picture. Second picture is this. Most people are familiar with this thing called linear income, okay? Linear income, it doesn't matter if you have a business. You have a little bit of leverage, but traditionally, if you have a solo operator in your business, you're linear income. What do I mean by that? This is time, this is money. Whatever time you put in, you get X dollar. Whatever time you put in, you get X dollar money. My husband's a medical doctor. So his time is trading time for money, whatever, you know, so there's no exponential growth. So now he might have a little bit of leverage because he has a clinic and his patient coming in and his nurses working for him, he's a little bit of leverage. But if my husband stops showing to work, there's no income coming in. So that's what most people are familiar with, the model called linear income. You're trading time for money. If you're billing a couple of $100 an hour, there's only limited time you can make money every hour. So how do we break that mold, okay? And so that's where, but this is what people accustomed, when you share, like as you begin to share the business with other people, they go, well, look at how many hours you attended, go to meeting and learning, how much, they will challenge you, how much money have you made? Because most people are stuck here. If I were to tell you in the beginning, first 6 months of doing 3, my hourly rate, if I were to break it down, would be 10 cents an hour. If using a logical mind of that, but people don't understand. To build a passive residual income, to build a passive sustainable business, it takes investment of time and effort. And so this is the picture I want to share with you. And that picture is called leveraged income. Leveraged income works like this, okay? So this is time. This upper part is time, and the lower part is money. Okay, so what does leverage income look like? So this could be a 1 to 5, I would say 2 to 5 year plan. Okay, this is a forever plan. You stop working, no more moolah. Okay, over here is 2 to 5 years. So in the beginning of your journey, okay, in the beginning you might put a lot of work. Especially like I said before, like first 6 months, maybe I make 10 cents an hour. Okay, because the money that I made compared to the time that I put in is very little bit. But as you build your team, as you build your group of people, there will come a point. This point is called equilibrium, meaning whatever time you're putting in at that time, whatever you're getting is equal to what you're making. But if you continue to grow, your business, encourage, empower other people, guess what happened? When your group is built, 2 to 5 years. Some people 5 years, some people 3 years. The time that you put in might be very little, but you're getting paid for all the efforts that you did much earlier. So this is called linear income. Okay? So when people have to say, how soon, like the previous company I built, it went from 0, from my home in LA. We built, there's no company. We started that. From 0, it became $1 billion in 6 years. By year 6, I was enjoying Sedona. I was buying stuff over here, and I was bringing $1 million a month. If you would think about, which I only show up once a year and travel to speak at annual convention. And then the whole time, I'm just playing, buying land and hiking and doing all this kind of stuff. So But most people, they say, oh, Kim is so lucky that they didn't see the earlier years. Kim was in the trenches. Kim was doing all this work. Now, they didn't see that, and also some naysayers will challenge me. Oh, look at her doing all this work. How much money you make? Oh, 10 cents an hour, you know? It just, but I knew that this is the work I have to do. That's my doing. I have to solidify my learning. I have to do that so that I can have the experience to empower other people. So this is the second chart I want to share with you. It's the leverage. This is the leverage part. Now, in building the leverage, there's a third graph I want to share with you, because I think with pictures, people usually see and understand a lot more than just words. Okay, so now, when you're building something like this, I want you to picture this. This is a hill, okay? In the beginning, because of learning curve, it's like you trying to push a rock uphill in the beginning, because you have to learn. But the key thing is, in most like conventional business, is you are the only guy. You're the owner, you're the janitor, you're doing everything yourself as a solo operator. But here, you have a team of people, your sponsor, people like a community to help support you. Say, you got this. And when you, as long as you want it, they are here to hold your hands and hold space for you. Say, you know what, we're gonna do this together. So, but you must be willing to go through the journey. Okay? So it's like pushing a rock uphill. But then you got a whole bunch of hands to holding you. When you master your learning, and when you're mastering your doing, the balls will roll on by itself. But this is the toughest part, like anything else. So that's why I want to do this graph so that you understand. I mean, this actually came download to me when I was doing Las Vegas. So I want to bring it here. So sometimes when people understand this, say, I got this, I know what I'm getting myself into, then you just, okay, now, so clear on this? So what is it we do? It is the art of sharing. What we do, I never go sell. I don't go sell product. I don't go recruit people. So I want to talk about the art of sharing, the art in building this business. Okay, so clear? So let's talk about what is it we do, the art of building this business. Most people will teach you how to promote this product. Most people will teach you the product, the science, all that stuff, the data, the white papers on the website. Those are facts. Facts only tell. What sells? Stories. Okay? So what is it we do? The art in building this business. Okay? The art, it truly is an art form in building this business. Okay? Okay. The art, number one, always number one. The fundamental principle of this whole thing is people first. People over profits. A lot of times in the old days, why this industry kind of got some bad reputation in the past is people were very transactional. It's always profit. Like most conventional business, it's always profit. Let's make a profit, let's make a profit. But when you truly put the emphasis on people, you win. Because a lot of people think about what three businesses? They think is like product business. You know what business we're in? We're in the people business. So when you understand that, it's people over profits. Okay? So now, understand this. In this process, you will have people that will turn you down nicely. You will have people that will violently oppose what you're doing. They might not even truly understand what it is. First thing is like, I'm like, some people see like they saw a ghost. When you tell them what you do, you know, so, but understand that is part of the numbers, part of the game, okay, to go through it, okay? So people over profits, okay? Number two, okay, you inspire. You inspire rather than, see, a lot of people in the business, they go recruit people. The best recruiter is not go out to recruit people. The best recruiter is inspire what's already in them. Mindy, for example, Lena, when you have the opportunity to help someone like a Mindy, you inspire her. The reason why she's so excited, even on vacation, she's talking to people because she got inspired on a better and higher version of herself and what's possible for her. That to me is the best reward you can ever have obtained. So when you're able to, you inspire. Now, so how do you go when you talk to people? How do you inspire them? You could maybe begin to share with what inspired you. Why are you doing this? Instead of, oh God, 3's got great products. 3 got amazing product. But what inspired you to do this? Because there are many great products out there. You could buy it, certainly use a product, but why 3? Why this platform? There must be something in it that inspire you. 3 is just a vehicle, just a tool, okay? So you inspire others to dream. You inspire what's in them, why you're doing this. And by sharing your story, you're able to activate something in them, okay? So if something in them might not be exactly like what you want or what you have, but when you learn to tell story, and that's why meetings and when you have community gatherings, it's great because you collect different people's story. And I always have this, and I taught this many years ago. It's like you have a bag, and every time you get a good story, it's like a marble. I collected my marbles. Like crystal, it's Sedona, you collect crystals, okay? You have a whole bunch of crystal sugar. So, and when you meet somebody and they tell you their story, you go, ooh, I have a crystal for you.
Yeah.
So that's my marble bag, my crystal bag. Now I'm changing it to Sedona, okay? So that's that. And number 3, the art is in connecting. We gotta learn to connect with people versus pitching. We all committed to this. When I first got involved, I was so excited. I started to pitch everybody. Oh my goodness, so connect with them first. I mean, ever since I've been off social media for more than 10 years now, but before when I was on social media, every day I would get pitched. Without checking on me how I'm doing. Oh, Kim, there's this product. Oh my gosh, my migraine is gone. A whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, dude, learn to find out where I am. Learn to find out if I even have migraine, you know? So it's like we need to learn to connect with the person you're talking to. Stop pitching. You gotta find out. This is the art. It truly, once you get this, it will be the being part. It will be in you. Okay? So connecting versus pitching. Okay? Number 4, build trust. Building trust. Trust you have to earn with others, right? You build trust. How you build trust? Being who you are, being true to who you are. You build trust versus selling. Okay? So, for example, Dr. Lena, you go meet a lot of new people. It's about connecting with them and you build trust. This business, you know, some might buy the product because they look at the science and go, oh, it's great. But to really get them moving forward to build this as a business, you know, when you live as you are. I mean, I love everybody. But if, let's say you guys don't see this, I'm still friends, but I'm going to do me. I would say this. I have 3 sisters. Mom and dad has 4 girls. I'm number 2. Last 31 years, 3 sisters, nobody would even buy my product. Nobody joined me and said, don't you put my name in your system. It's just, but I have to do me. I mean, there were times in the beginning years, I was very lonely. Like I go meetings, a lot of people doing with the sister, cousins and all that, and I'm always alone. And so, it took me years of therapy, I got over it now. So anyway, so you gotta build trust versus selling. So this is so crucial. Okay, so master this. And how do we go about overcoming some of the challenges? It's a magic of large numbers. In that, I want to share with you like a deck of cards. If you think about a deck of cards, how many aces in a deck of cards? 4. So if your job is look for aces to flip the card. So when you flip the first 10 cards, you might not get an ace because the odds you might not, right? So, but if some people flip 10 cards and go, there's no ace, and then they quit. Well, it could be possibility. Your 4 aces could be the last 4 cards. You don't know. So you just gotta be willing to continue. That's just numbers game. If something's so good, why don't everybody see it? Well, I don't know. if everybody sees it, there is no poor people in the world, right? And so it's just like, there's a saying, right? Everybody want to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Right? All want to go to heaven, but nobody want to die, okay? So it's just human thing. Okay, so how do we build this? Is the pipeline. You gotta build your pipeline. Your pipelines, okay, so I'm gonna talk about pipeline. Okay, so the pipeline is this. I want you to picture a funnel, okay? This is a pipeline. So the first pipeline is your list. You gotta be willing to sort through your list. And then list people that you know. These are, a lot of times in this business, when they start working their list, when they get rejections or some like really nasty rejections, people go, oh, forget that, I'm gonna go cold market. Cold market, those of you that really have it in your stomach, you could do it. But cold market is tough and it's very time consuming, okay? I say that because I did that. And so the way how, I would say this, 90 from the previous company, from zero to become a $14 billion company, I would say that 99.99% of the people I brought in were all warm market. 99.99. Look at Gary. And this group all came about because of all warm markets. Because why? In business, and you could, this triangle, I'm not gonna go over it today, but Gary and probably cover that. You are the B. You're playing a B role. Okay? B role, you're the connector. A C is a customer, a potential customer, or potential prospect. A, who's the A? A is the expert. Who's the expert? Anybody but you. Okay? So between you and your potential prospect, hopefully they trust you. Okay? Your job, and this is the tough thing for successful people. For educated people, successful people, this is very tough. But we need to get over that toughness, okay? Because you really want to succeed, you need to get over it. Your job as a B role is to edify. Your job is to edify, meaning say some good things about the A, the expert, anybody but you, okay? So that your prospects will what? Respect on what this person has to say. So if you learn to edify, let the A do the work for you, okay? So this is so ultra important. This is very hard, truly, for people that are very successful, because everything that is all on my shoulder. Before I got into this space, I was a VP of a vitamin company that would sell the Whole Foods, Sprouts, and all that. I'm a vice president. I don't need nobody to present for me. I could do this. Guess what? My business wasn't growing, and I can never take a break, because when I do, my whole group stops, because they were all relying on me until I begin to leverage the experts. Because also, when they look at me, they go, okay, Kim, what do you know about this space? You're a VP. You don't know anything about this new industry. So, like you, Sugar, for example, you're in the healing space, intuitive healing and crystals and sound healing. So the people that you knew, they know you in that arena. They might not look at you as the expert in here. So you are working with Linda and Gary. Your job is to leverage them. They trust you and say, listen, I got something incredible. You gotta find out, connect with them what they have. Then you edify them and let them do the work for you to help you do the sharing. Okay, so anyway, list. Work your list. Second thing is the pipelines. As you go out, meet people. Connect with them. Put them in the funnel. Put them in the pipeline. So this list, you will always continue to build this list. Because as you build this list, there's a process before they become a BA. Sometimes this funnel have holes. This has buckets and holes in it, right? So it will leak out. It just happens, right? So understand, so we always have to fill this. And what is this sorting process? This here are events, okay? Remember the 5 M's? More meanings means more miracle. So events, you need to constantly feed this, and you need to always constantly feed the pipeline of having people coming to events. An event doesn't even have to be a Saturday. Because, when you meet somebody, you like somebody, and you schedule, edify the expert, and schedule a coffee meeting, a Zoom meeting, a FaceTime. Anything that exposes and share the opportunity, the story, the success with people, okay? So that is the pipeline, okay? The pipeline takes time. Like imagine if we were to go out and make a Barbie and Ken doll, okay? So imagine an assembly line. You know, first is the body part, the hand, the feet, the head, you know, the wave, whatever. So there's an assembly line to put this. Same thing. Sometimes in events, it could be, sometimes it may be a home run. But there are times you need to follow up. So there's a whole process. We got to finish, okay? Now, so ultimately, the journey, this whole thing is a journey. So this whole journey, what do? When you bring people in, your job is to encourage your fellow entrepreneurs. You encourage your fellow entrepreneurs, and you coach them. Like when they come on board, like when I enroll Gary, my job begins because I have to coach him. And along the way, when they're going through this journey, I have to encourage him. So you coach, you encourage, and you inspire. You inspire. This is the note for myself.
Yeah,
I
we're
came up
trying
with
to
it.
guess.
Yeah. So this is like, so basically what you do is you inspire for them to believe in themselves, their higher version of themselves. Because we all human beings, we all have doubt. So especially when challenges come, we begin to doubt, like, we made the right choice. Is this too hard? Is this too hard to make money? Yeah, you can certainly go back to linear income. Like I love what Linda sent out, this 7-day thing, Monday, Tuesday, and they go on a whole different hill. Because that hill repeats itself. Mm-hmm. You're off the hill and you go one Monday again, Tuesday, Wednesday. And so, but here, I mean, in the beginning, this business, people want more time. In the beginning, we'll be off balance a little bit. Because we're all focused down in and building this business. You know, but at some point, once you build an equilibrium, you're getting more time to your life. But if you work a traditional method, most people are off balance their entire life. I remember when I was, my son was showing a picture earlier, my baby, 2006, he was 3 years old. And I remember in the beginning, I did a lot of sacrifices. I was traveling a lot of places. Once a month I was traveling. You know, I was off balance a little bit. But I remember later on, I was with my son I never missed an event. Because I was able to gain back a lot more. And now I was at USC, every year so much money. The dorm's like $4,000 a month, and it's for a studio. But you know, because mom had paved the way, I have the ability to love. I'm a lot more stronger financially. So anyway, so this is a nutshell. I think I did good. How many hours did I do? So this in a nutshell.
1:15.
Okay, perfecto. Okay, so this is in a nutshell of 31 years. I hope it's clear enough. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Clear
Oh,
for you
yeah.
guys? Does it help understand better?
Yeah.
Okay, so, but understand this process. We gotta do it. So you're on with this knowledge. Just gotta do it. And understand the facts are you're gonna have people that will say no to you. The fact is if you continue, you will have people that will thank you. They'll say, thank you for changing my lives. Thank you for helping me to see things another way outside of what I was conditioned to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, question, yeah.
Yeah, could you just sort of use Gary as the person bringing somebody in, I can be the prospect and you be the expert?
Yes.
To explain that, how to do that process?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So I'm gonna erase this, okay? All right, so now, so the art in building is the 4 part, you got that, right? So now, so this is another ABC, okay? So let's say the A, the B, the C, okay? So A is the experts, right? So B, that's you, okay? When you bring the C in, okay, you're so this is the expert. Let's say that, for example, well, I think this really happened at, is it Jody's house? Jody, your old house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The first time I met you was at her house. Okay, so I was the expert, being edified as the expert. So when I went and present, so this is Linda. Okay, this is Jody. Well, Jody and me and Gary were kind of like the experts, right? So we presented. Okay, so what we were doing is now this is on a presentation, but if in a coffee shop, the expert would present to the prospect. So this is the prospect, okay? We present to them, but what are you doing? You are watching, you are learning. This is a monkey see, monkey do. So the next one, and let's say D, now Linda brings in sugar, okay? So let's say this is sugar. So Linda sponsors sugar. okay? Now, guess what? Gary and I will be talking to sugar. So Gary and I, to the experts, will be talking to sugar. And then Linda and Jody are gonna watch. So now what happened? You help sugar talk to somebody, right? Who's the next person what's the next person you guys talk to? What's the person that you talk to for sugar?
Centauria?
Centurion.
Okay, Centauria. Okay, so this is E now. Okay, Centauria. Okay, so now guess what happened? What duplication happened? So Kim is no longer involved because after a few rounds, Gary observed, oh, I got this. So now with Centauria, Gary is now all over the place. So now, so it's no longer Kim now. So it's this is what we call a show and tell business. I'm gonna show you how to do it. Then afterwards, we can have a debriefing, a meeting after the meeting. We actually had a debrief. I had a debriefing with him. Almost every meeting, I had a debriefing. What took place? What are the areas we can improve on? What are some of the things that we got to be more mindful of? So I show him what to do. Then I'm going to tell him what I did. By show and tell, the next round, ideally, like so now Gary, it's all over the place, but let's say Gary now is doing that with Centauria. Then you are watching. That's why when I do all these 3 ways, when I do training, I always like to have the sponsor or the leaders there. Okay? Because why? They might not say a thing, but they're watching, they're learning. Because eventually, they will be doing it like that. So this is the ABC, the show and tell. I hope this kind of explains it. So you show and then you tell. After you do a one-on-one, afterwards, we'll always debrief. What took place, how can we be better? And so, yeah.
Yeah, and then the other thing is that before that meeting, the person who is bringing the prospect needs to give information to the expert about they seem to be interested in the products, here's something about them, right?
So this is called the bridge, okay? You gotta bridge me, the expert in, okay? So I think the ABC, so a lot of times, not Gary, but someone else, okay? They go, well, Kim, can you do a call for Gary, to Joe? Put me on the phone. Kim, Joe, meet Kim.
I'll admit it.
Yeah.
I'll admit it. I did do it. I did. There was one call that I said, Kim meet so-and-so meet Kim. I just dropped it. She's so nice about it. Right afterwards, she says, brother, she says, I need a little bit more. You got to guide me. You got to set it up. I'm like, oh, okay. Got it.
Like for example, when I'm on the, even before the call and say, listen, Kim, I have shared, let's call Mary. I told Mary a little bit about this and that. So let me know some of the temperatures, what I'm getting myself into. Let me know the temperature, what you have done so far, and a little bit about their background. What are their hot buttons? Remember, when you're connecting, you're assessing the situation, what are their back. So then you give me that, and when I come on the phone, then you still, don't just say, Kim, I told you everything already, here's the so-and-so. You have to say, Kim, this is Mary, like I shared with you, like you gotta bridge the gap. You gotta bridge. Kim, like I shared with you, Mary is Mary lives in San Francisco, is looking for this, or whatever. So then you give me a cue. That's the bridge is giving me a signal. You gotta cue me in. You gotta cue the expert in. That way the expert knows exactly where to go. So to have a more successful 3-way, that's the bridge. So you gotta build the bridge. So if you are the B, the connector, so you gotta bridge the gap for the experts and the prospect. Now, another fun thing very important is this. Sometimes when they are on a 3-way call on a Zoom, the B tend to edify the prospect rather than the expert. It happens all the time. Oh, let's say for example, let's say Gary, okay? Gary's like, oh, Kim, meet Sugar. Sugar is a really famous in LA. She has a bigger studio, She was in LA Times magazine, and then I go, hi, Sugar, so, and then so like, Sugar's floating in cloud 9, right? Yeah. And then, but it's fine, it didn't be balanced. Yeah. So Sugar would then respect the experts or what the expert is saying. So that cue is very important, absolutely. So these are little nuances that you only get to learn and go through when you are doing it. But these are preparation work. And I will tell you, in this space, I mean, this group is super fast. I'm so proud. I mean, Linda, you got all those little nuances. Most people do it for like 10 years, they still don't get it. And this is really, I mean, you guys are getting like a PhD course. It's really good. Okay, so anything else? Any other question? Huh?
Now's your
Okay.
time. Anybody? Anything?
Oh, well, I might just say, because we just had this experience, I said on the call, but I didn't say it for sure. You weren't there, Manu wasn't there. When you have an expert, because I had my health practitioner on, and she told me one thing. When Gary got on there, the conversation went in a different direction that she absolutely told me she was not interested in. So she might be interested in the business, just because I'm out of the way and he's a different person, and she saw something or he said something in a way that I didn't say, and you could see her go, oh, right?
We literally saw the lights come on.
Yeah.
Like all the lights in the attic came on.
So that's why it's really much better to have the expert.
Yeah.
I mean, it really got such a tangible thing.
I have a question.
Yes.
So like not Centauria, but let's say someone else like a Centauria. Do I schedule these calls like you guys are busy?
No.
No.
So the one thing that you want to make sure that you, and Kim, like you can take this, I mean, if you want to.
No.
So what you want to do is you want to make sure that they respect our time, right? And so let me reach out to Gary or let me reach out to Linda and see what their availability is like, and I'll see if I can't come up with a couple different time options, right? You're also putting value on our time. They will respect that more,
Exactly.
okay? So once you do that, this is what we do.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how busy we are. Like I really get this one, why she does the calls at 3:30 in the morning. I'm not kidding. She has to, because she has a global
Of
team,
course,
right?
yeah.
And so in this delicate phase that we're in of construction in the beginning, it takes this type of effort to build the apparatus that then people can just duplicate off of. But for right now, we will make the time for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't just say you were too busy.
No.
No.
They will jump
No,
on fire.
I was asking for me,
Yeah.
making sure,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, baby, get rid of that. I promise. I know that you're trying to be like respectful and mindful,
Always.
but like this is what we do. We're here for you.
Cool.
So yeah.
That's good to
Mhm.
know. Can I talk about milking, or when you're done, I have some questions?
I do that one
yeah.
independently
Yeah, we
afterwards.
do independent because you're on camera, so we just.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Mhm. No, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
Yeah, okay.
I love it. See, I love it. Like the lights just went on, and you will get these little things over time that like it's a natural part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Mhm.
That's good. Okay. So anything else? By the way, I want to go back to what Jody was saying. Maybe clarify a little bit. Is that, and that's a great point. You know, Jody has this practitioner that she goes to. Now, maybe that a lot of times when you go to a practitioner, you know, they are the experts in that field. They don't necessarily look at her as an expert. So she might have expressed that she had no interest in the business side, but she might have interest in the product side, which is fine because that's her expertise in that wellness area, right? So when she edify him, when he comes on in the picture, he's the expert. So somehow, somewhat in this mix, there's in this alchemy, the light came on for her. It's like for this practitioner, go, hey, you know what? I'm on a linear income. I'm looking for ways of how I can diversify. Or maybe they get to a certain age, they're looking for another way to whatever. You never know what get triggered emotionally in the conversation. But by you edifying the expert, it drive that point home. And you know, so that's great.
And I imagine you edified Gary as an expert in his real estate business, right? So now she's looking at somebody who's a business expert,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So she's going to talk about a business,
Yeah.
her business with the business expert.
Yeah.
Yes.
And be more
Absolutely.
open to hearing about the business from a business expert.
You guys, the story here in Sedona, top real estate agent in Sedona, the president of the luxury group here in Sedona before, and this lady's $1 billion lady. I mean, like, wow, you got all that to leverage. So when I literally helped this lady who lives in Honolulu, she never left Hawaii, but we built her a nationwide, in the United States, a whole group. And her only job was to edify. She mastered the art of edification. So she would edify me, put me in the phone, and because I was hungry. I was working it and working and working it, and she got groups all over 50 states
Wow.
by leveraging, by edifying the expert. And then back in those days, we didn't have Zoom. So we're doing 3-way calls all the time, you know,
Yes.
and Skype, you know, later on. And so, yeah,
Oh,
so
I remember.
all that. Yeah. But technology's evolved so much. Now you can FaceTime, you can do WhatsApp video calls and whatnot.
it's
Yeah,
amazing.
so,
So first find their pain point.
yes,
Connect,
yeah.
and then share.
Yeah, and then invite them. Okay, so good. That's one
Yeah,
process. Okay,
that's-
so,
I need that.
okay,
That's
good.
what I need.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody needs.
Yeah, everybody needs that. Like the other day we were talking. It's like, okay, first thing in the morning when you get up, what do? You go outside. I said, I like this specific thing in the brain. Like, so I need to apply that for this business. Remember last night we were talking?
Yeah.
When you get up, what's the first thing you do? Go outside and ground. You know, so that's like a health daily practice kind of thing. So daily practice. Okay. So first you share. I mean, you connect with people, right? So you first connect. Before you share, you connect, right?
How are you? How's everything going?
Yeah,
What's
you find out
happening?
where they're at in life, because you want to find out the hot buttons. You are a doctor. Before you diagnose, you have to do assessments. What's the pulse, what's the temperature, so you do the vital signs. So you connect to get the vital signs, okay? Now, the vital signs in our business, what are we looking for? One, the first thing is how's their health, right? So 4 things we're looking at, 4 vital signs. First is health and wellness. Health and wellness, okay? Second, how are they doing with, like, do they want more time? How's they doing with time? In fact, quality of life, like time, right? Third is money. Fourth, these are what most people seek for when they come into a platform like this, is meaning. Like, meaning, a purpose, or a meaning, or something that's fulfilling. So when you're talking to people, we don't know what make them tick. Some people say, you know, I want a community. I want to connect with people. Like, Jacqueline's new in this town. There's a community here that she can connect with. So we don't know what she's looking for. So only know I'll find out is I will connect with her, right? So you connect to find out what the vital signs are. The second thing, after you find out what the vital signs are, then you invite. Okay? Invite them for what? Invite them to an event. So you invite by edifying something. So edifying, okay, so invite them to what? To an event. What are the events? One, you always want a live meeting, in-person meeting, because we're all humans. We like it better when so your job, invite them event. How do you invite them event? You edify the events. The events are only as good as how you edified it. Okay? Yeah.
Well, I think there's, in between the connecting part, you know, when you identify the pain point, you can say something like, you know, I know you've been working so hard, and you know, is what you're doing going to get you to your dream,
yes.
right? Or whatever it is, right? And they're going to have an answer, and then you say, well, I have something that, if you're open, I have something that might help you with that.
That's very, thank you.
Would you
Very
be
specific.
open into learning more? And then you don't even talk about 3. Then you invite them.
Yeah.
To connect for a ABC thing, you know, for a meeting, for a phone
Zoom
call,
call.
a Zoom,
That's kind of
whatever
hard.
it
They'll
is.
want to know. I mean, it's really hard not to mention anything.
Okay, let me walk you through this. Maybe that will make more sense. Okay, so when you get the vital signs, thank you for reminding me that the part of detail. After you get the vital signs, then you also want to find out, so how long, so they tell you, well, you know, of course I want more time, you know. I think, you know, I need to be thinking about, you know, defined benefit plan, or 401k, or college funds for my kids, or whatever, right? You say, listen, then let me ask you, how long you've been working? How long you've been doing whatever you're doing? Your current job, current whatever, right? How long you've been doing it? And how long, and so what are some of your aspirations? What are some of your goals and dreams? Like, find out what their inspirations are, what inspire them, right? This is the vital sign, that's the need, right? But it's important to get the inspiration. So what was at one point in your life, what was your goals and dreams? And then the other question, this is 1, how long you've been doing. 2, find out what the inspirations. 3 is, how long do you plan to doing whatever you're doing, right? How long, right? And the number 4 items, very important. by doing all this, will it help you to get to where you want to go? Like if they say, well, I would like to ideally have, maybe $1 million in the bank account and my kids' education all paid for, that would be ideal. I said, that's great. And how long you been doing whatever you're doing? And if you continue doing whatever you're doing, will it go to this what you want? And if the answer is no, because all these are guided, is driven to what? Driven for their inspiration. Remember, we inspire rather than trying to pitch, or trying to recruit. You inspire. So by asking these, it's like a awakening kind of thing. By asking this question, they go, how long will you have to work to get to here? They go, well, maybe never, maybe 10 years, whatever years. Well, what if there's a way? What if there's a plan that we could help you to get to here, 2 to 5 years? Might you be open? But I cannot say this without finding out, without connecting to get that. So might you be open? They go, wow, that's it. Okay, I will be. Well, listen. They go, what is it? Listen, I would love to explain all that to you, but I'm new. I just learned about this concept. Let me bring you to my friend who's $1 billion. She actually is one of the top 1% in the country in mortgage lending. She's done over $1 billion worth of business in her practice. So I let me schedule a time so that she can explain to you what it is about. So I take away from the need to tell him or her what it is. What it is about getting her to her inspiration. A vehicle to get to here. So you shift the logical mind want to find out what it is. You shift that. What it's really all about, this whole art, what it's all about is inspiring them to live the better version of themselves. In order to do that, we all need a vehicle. 3 is just a vehicle. It's a shovel. It's a tools to get gold out of it.
Right.
And along the way, you grow as a human being. And so that's why when this is taught right, when this is done right, when this is seen right, it's a beautiful industry. But see, people in the past were transactional. For example, a big A company, like you gotta buy a whole ton of stuff, your garage, you're qualified. Everything's transacted over the cloud. I don't stock no inventory. I don't even have enough every month. So this is so different. And people go, well, isn't it this like that? Well, you know what? I would say, like, look, a lot of people look at the phone as a phone, but the phone nowadays is different than the dial-ups, the rotary phones. This is a camera, it's an MP3 player, it's a video, it's a fax machine, it's everything. And so times have changed. The operating system have changed. So that's that. That's a great thing. So I need to take a screenshot and I need to put in a PowerPoint. So yeah, I was putting all the notes here to remind myself.
Oh, you can read your own writing too.
So does this help? Does this help you guys? Yeah. Okay. So truly, this is
Practical stuff.
practical. But there's also the potential is what's potential for me might be different than yours. But ultimately, no matter what, we're getting to a better place in life. That's it, right? So. Thank you. I'm grateful to be in your presence. Yes. All right. That is good.
Oh, very good. Good numbers. Good numbers.
Oh, good.
Guys, well, no other questions? We're good?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do a couple things. I want to make sure that let's tidy up the kitchen a little bit. I want to clean up and get us ourselves reset for our presentation. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is inviting to events. So we got some feedback yesterday from everybody on what is working. That was a great question, by the way. Thank you for leading that meeting that way yesterday. And the first thing that came out that was really clear from the beginning was everybody is thrilled with the fact that we have systems in place. We have the weekly welcome call. We're doing a training at least once a week, and we're doing the live presentation. So, the welcome call was being done twice a month. We've now moved it to every single week, and we're going to increase that as well too as the team builds. One of the things that we want to make sure that we're doing is that we're inviting to events, right? So we've got the apparatus here, but the apparatus doesn't work as well if there's nobody coming. So we want to make sure that we're going back to the basics on that and inviting people to the meeting. I do think that because Film Festival is here right now, I just knowing from so many years of experience that it's like our Super Bowl, right? And so people kind of step back and they kind of hold off. So we'll be mindful of that, but there are still plenty of people that are like us that as much as I love film, I'm not going to go get caught up in all of that. So, I'm going to be making calls for next Saturday as well too. The other thing I want to invite everybody to is it's time for, how do we say it, speaker training.
Yes.
Speaker training, right? So what I want to share with you is that when I started this project in the beginning with Kim, I've had my own growth. A lot of you guys are very dear to me. You've seen me grow through some of my own stuff right in front of you in the room and on a stage, right? I've seen the business change for me so many times already. And what I can tell you when I see what's happening with my business is that the more meetings mean more money is as factual and as simple as it gets. I understand that that's 30 years of experience, and it's absolutely true. The more meetings that we have, I can see the volume increasing, I see the growth in each of you, and if we want to duplicate that, we're going to need more speakers, okay? Because it's time. I think that we're looking at this, we know what's in store for the United States. We're talking about multiple markets here. Sedona, we're going to increase to a second meeting during the week. We'll probably do that in the evening so we can do a different capture. But Linda proposed yesterday that we start increasing the training as well. Yeah. So what I'm thinking is at least 2 to maybe 3 training days for the next couple months. How does that sound?
I think that'd be great.
Yeah? Right?
Yeah.
Get some training?
Yeah.
Some speaking? Yeah?
Yeah, because, I really believe that you could short circuit a lot of mistakes that people might naturally make because they're just not getting this level of information, right?
Yeah.
I think it would make a big difference.
I think so too, and I think that, in so many ways with you guys, right? Like what I love about this is kind of like my vision, Kim, about this project is that all of her years of experience, anytime that I've been in Asia and I see the way that team, and a lot of you guys have been there, right? You guys have seen how systematic they are. They are so fluid in the way that they support one another and they support every single event. I know that's what she wants to duplicate here in the United States, and I'm just going to put it plainly. That's going to be on us to do, right? This I look at this project, I get goosebumps thinking about this. God bumps. Is that it was born here. It was conceived here. We always think of Sedona as the amplifier, right? For a number of reasons, because of us, because of the energy of our interest is here. Maybe it's because of the quartz content in the red rock that amplifies. I believe in all of it, right? I think that what we're doing in this company started here and it's meant to grow from here, right? And what you guys have, what you bring to the table is something very different for the US market. You know what I mean? Your caliber, your circle of friends, what you bring to the table. I've seen it all over. I make an effort not to compare people to one another, but I can contrast them. And I see what you guys are doing, I see how you're growing, and it's just the next logical step. By getting you speaking, training, we holding more meetings, whether they're in Sedona, we're talking about Phoenix, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and Dallas. Those are the markets where you guys have, enrolled a tree there. Our team is there in those places. So if we support them, or if I'm going to one of those markets.
You're gonna be in Dallas, so you
I'm
have
gonna be in
contacts
Dallas.
in Texas.
Yeah,
And I'll be in Dallas too.
Yep. Kim, thank you for that.
And Chicago.
In Chicago.
And she'll be in Chicago, and she'll be in Iowa as well. I'm in Dallas the 3rd through the 10th. So if you guys have prospects in Dallas, number one, we have a meeting. There's going to be a big presentation there. I would highly encourage to get them there. If you want to talk, if you want to help me get them on the phone ahead of time, let's do it. Because there's several different ways that we can look at it. Like I can meet your prospects at that meeting, or I can meet your prospects now on a Zoom, and I can welcome your prospects in that room, right? So if we get out in front of it, I can grow it quickly for you.
What if like I've got 2 people now who, Shelly and also McCall, want to just test the products before discussing business.
Yeah.
So you just let them do that and circle back in order to edify, and now you talk to Linda and Gary about next steps. Is that, so how does that work?
Where are they at?
Yeah.
They're in right now Shelly's, she just got her products.
Well, where is she? Is she
She's
now
in
there?
Los Angeles, she's
It's
my
both in LA.
astrologer. McCall is actually in Tucson, she's my crystal dealer, which I showed you guys her photo in our group text, and
So okay, this is what I would do. Like even though they express the fact that they just want to say the product,
Yes.
that's great, and say when they get the product, always follow up.
Yeah.
Like the inviting part, I didn't finish that list. The invites, then you follow up and you close, right? So in after enrollment, you also follow up, right? So they got the product, say, okay, now, you got the product already? So they already expressed to you, I only wanna try out the product. So they got the product, say, listen, have they watched Dr. Ken's video?
Yes,
They have.
Shelly has, and so has McCall.
Okay,
Yes.
very good. And so get on the product, let me know how you're doing
feel.
with it, okay?
Mhm.
And now, if there's a local event,
Mhm.
then there's another something to promote. Listen, I know you want to try the product first, but listen, we have an expert that's actually coming to LA. And so I would love for you if you can, meet with him or her, and to really learn more about the science as well as the possibility of what this can mean to you. But you gotta know what the buttons are.
Yep.
Right? So if there's an event, I will certainly. This is called what we call the dripping.
Mhm.
A dripping system. So they said they want a product, you follow up how they're doing with the product, and if there's an event, I would definitely try to drip that and have them come. But how you get them to come to the events, you edify the expert in the area of interest that they have.
Mhm.
So if they're really into the product, you say learn more about the science in person. So you invite them to the meeting.
Okay, cool.
Gary, you have anything to add to that?
The only thing I would say on top of that is that like that question, like your people that are in some of these other markets, right? So this is why we're talking about expansion. So we talked to Kenny and Ryan this morning. Many of you guys know Kenny and Ryan. And so we're gonna do a lot of collaborating events. And in some ways, I'm thinking of a team fusion, right?
Absolutely.
This is what I wanna talk with Kim about. And I also wanna have a conversation with Dr. McCormick about doing the same thing in Texas, okay? So I think that, look, these minds, these faces, these ideas, this new crop, this new mentality, which is changing the face of this industry, which is ultimately her objective, right? That's how we're gonna do this. And by supporting one another in these different markets, it helps your people, right? Same thing with yours, you know what I mean?
Who has people
Absolutely.
in Houston? You have people in Houston?
Yeah.
Family?
Well,
I
I
do.
mean, I
Yeah,
know.
it does.
Dr. McCormick, Linda McCormick, she's in
Oh,
Houston.
she's amazing. Oh,
She's a
man.
PhD, she wrote like papers, published papers.
Currently.
Currently, if
Yeah.
anybody sit in front of Linda, sold.
Mm-hmm.
Cause she's that good.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean,
you gotta
it's-
leverage that.
I
Yeah.
mean, the camera's on.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so anyway, yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
alright, okay, good.
Good, good.
Yeah, and we're gonna get together, by the way. Okay, you and Gary and Kim and I and
Okay.
talk about some of these
Sometimes you'll
specific
find
things.
like people, they have their different growth curves, right? They have their different things. And what I've seen, at least with myself and a couple other people, is that like, you have to let them also grow into themselves. There are moments we have to step back and hold a little bit of space. Do you know what I mean? But like, it all comes around. And you know the people who are invested, it's the people who show up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very, very obvious. I see it. I see you guys when I'm watching and I post something on the thread that I've taken time out of my day, evening, whatever, to write or perfect or get right, and you guys are thumbsing. I watch you. I see whose names are paying attention. You know what I mean? That's usually a pretty good sign. You know what I mean?
And repetition.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, sometimes you don't hear it until you hear it the fourth time, or
Yeah.
the fifth time, or
Or
the
the
sixth
100th
time.
time.
Yeah.
Or, and so the more, I mean, I do make a point of attempting to show up to whatever I can, because I learn something every time.
Every
Proximity is power.
Every time.
Oh, then one thing I
Yeah.
wanna add is this is what we learned, the try and true thing in this industry. The yeses build your check, the no's builds you. Like no's are the weights, like when you build muscle, it builds you, a character. But the yeses build your check, the no's builds character.
I love that.
I love that.
That's
yes.
really good, Kim. Yeah, and I love that. I love that we're talking more and more about the growth of this,
Yeah.
right? Because I think that that's something we can do that nobody can touch.
Yeah.
They can't. There's no other model. There's no other platform that's going to be able to touch us in that regard. Because we're chock full of people who are all about growth. You know, so. Kim, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kim.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to talk to me later on that? Do you want?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
we have time. I'm just letting you both know that I'm already signed up. My registration is intact, and I'll be there at the conference from the 3rd of May until the 6th. And I had some ideas
Okay.
to talk to
Well,
you
let's
about.
talk. Before I leave, I fly out to Iowa
Good.
on the 28th.
So
Okay,
let's
we'll
book
talk.
it.
Okay, we'll book something
Okay.
so we all get
Yeah.
together. Yeah, that's
I
great.
think you need to be there too.
Manu we have something for Emanuela as well too, that we wanna do the same thing because she has the conference coming
Right,
up
right.
in
Yeah, so we'll
Beverly
book a
Hills
private
as
session.
well.
Okay, guys.
Kim, thank you so
Okay,
much.
bye,
Okay,
Kim.
great.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, today. All right. You say bye to Linda for me. Okay, bye, guys. Bye.
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you.
I'm gonna start the recording.
Yes, that'd be great. Great, thank you.